this meeting to order, the March meeting of Lawrence City Council. We'll begin tonight with an invocation, and I'd like to ask that Councilor Lattimore lead us in that invocation, and then I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please stand.
All wise, everlasting God, our Heavenly Father. Father, we come before you right now in this meeting. Thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for sparing everyone to come back to this place one more time. Thank you for keeping all of our families, dear Lord. And thank you for guiding me all these 12 years down to this moment. Father, I thank you for being with me and never leaving me alone. But dear God, bless each and every one of these council members and our mayor. Bless everyone that's present tonight. It's in your name. In your name I do pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. City Council will be pleased to know that when I printed out an additional copy, unless our clerk brought the one that I gave her earlier, she did. Hallelujah. Thank you so much. Well, you weren't going to get a short version, but you can thank Leslie that no, you won't. And originally only printed the last 2 pages. Good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this March meeting of Lawrence City Council. I have a great deal to share with you tonight, and I also look forward to further discussion as we deliberate the business before us. But tonight, as part of our agenda, we'll be proclaiming March as National Disabilities Awareness Month here in the city of Lawrence. It's an opportunity for us to recognize the unique contributions of individuals with different abilities in our community and reaffirm our commitment to inclusion and accessibility. One example of this commitment is the Special Olympics that Presbyterian has proudly hosted for many years. The Area 5 Special Olympics serves athletes from Lawrence and Abbeville, Greenwood, McCormick, and Newberry counties, and it gives these athletes the ability to compete and perform and showcase their dedication, their sportsmanship and skill. And I am very proud of our police chief, Heath Copeland, who has volunteered for the Special Olympics, serving as that event's MC for the past 5 years. We applaud his leadership and help in making that day very special for both the athletes and our community. Our Parks and Recreation Department has also played a vital role in supporting local Special Olympics athletes. Over the past few weeks, the Ridge has opened its courts to Special Olympics teams, giving them a place to practice and to prepare for their upcoming competitions. There are so many more ways that we do and can work together with community partners like Lawrence County Disabilities and Special Needs, who's here with us tonight, to promote awareness and opportunity for those who are living with different abilities. But I hope that as we celebrate National Disabilities Awareness Month in the city of Lawrence, that we'll take time to celebrate the accomplishments of the individuals who are living with different abilities and continue to work towards a more accessible and supportive community. I want to give you an event recap on something that was very special for the city this past week. Homegrown was the first event that was hosted in the newly renovated Capitol Theater, and it was a sold-out success. We've received incredible feedback from the press and community and performers, and I really do believe that this shows just how important live music and entertainment is to Lawrence. I can't pass up an opportunity just to give a huge thanks to our staff and vendors musicians, and everyone involved in making this such a fantastic night for music. And of course, it's just the beginning. We have lots of plans in the works for more entertainment in Laurens, so stay tuned for those announcements. In terms of upcoming events, we have STEAM on the Square. That's to take place Saturday, April 5th at 9 a.m. through 3 p.m. It's a partnership between Lawrence County School Districts 55 and 56, the City of Laurens, and South Carolina First Steps. The event is a celebration of science, technology, engineering, art, and math, STEAM, with student music performances, interactive learning stations, and exhibits, and it really is the first of its kind in the county. This afternoon I saw our superintendent, and they have been really appreciative of the work that the city has done to work with them to make this happen, and we're excited for this event because it really should be a fun day for everybody involved. The event's free of charge, and it's a great opportunity for families to enjoy a fun and educational day in Laurens. It's been a long effort. They've included it in their curricula, so it's a multifaceted effort, and it really will be fun to see what our students have been up to. I want you to put this date on your calendar, Tuesday, April 8th at 6 p.m. We will have the State of the City address at the Capitol. I'll provide an update on the city's progress and challenges and goals to City Council and members of the public. The event is free of charge, of course, and it is open to the public. City of Laurens Community Cleanup Day will take place on Earth Day. That's Tuesday, April 22nd. It's a great opportunity for residents and businesses and community groups to come together and give our city a good spring cleaning. We want to thank Keep Laurens County Beautiful and their efforts to help us with this, to provide materials and support and promotion, and really for all that they do throughout the year to encourage our efforts as a county to clean things up. We'll provide additional details through City of Laurens social media and provide information to the press, so stay tuned for that. But whether you're an individual who just wants to see the city cleaner, or a congregation or a community organization that wants to make a difference, we really hope that you'll make plans to get involved, and the city administrator and I are committed to making sure that city staff lead by example. So we'll be out there doing our part to clean things up. Piedmont Blues and Roots Festival will take place on Saturday, May 17th at the Capitol. We already have an exciting lineup of music for this special event, and we actually heard at our departmental staff meeting yesterday that we have a direct connection with one of the performers to both Reverend Gary Davis and Pink Anderson, native Laurens residents who pioneered this music, and he will be performing at the festival. So that's super exciting. It's been a dream of his for 60 years, and it's really neat to be able to bring that home to Laurens. Do want to give you an update about conversations we've been having with the police department. Police department is amplifying their traffic enforcement efforts to ensure the safety of all drivers and pedestrians in the city. Our officers are conducting saturation patrols, which include safety checkpoints and license checks, and increased patrols in high traffic areas to identify and prevent dangerous driving behaviors. Specific violations that will be strictly enforced include failure to wear a seatbelt, texting while driving, driving under the influence, and we'll also be enforcing our city's nuisance violations and littering violations. So be aware of that. Just be cognizant of the fact that the goal here is not just to issue citations for the sake of citations, but to prevent accidents and save lives and improve the livability of our city. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank our police chief once again for his leadership in making sure that we are doing all that we can to enforce local ordinances and state law and keep folks safe. Our whole department is doing an outstanding job. The City of Lawrence is in the process of preparing our annual budget. It's a multi-month effort to ensure responsible financial planning for the city. A budget workshop for City Council will be held Thursday, April 24th, so council be on the lookout for details regarding that. The workshop will provide City Council members and department heads the opportunity to review our financial priorities, talk about departmental needs, and make sure our budget aligns with long-term goals. Finally, tonight, I just want to take the opportunity to address the fact that we gather at a moment of transition. And it is with sadness that we say goodbye to one of our colleagues, Councilor Sarah Lattimore, who served on Lawrence City Council since November 2012. It's been my pleasure to serve with her over the past 6 years as mayor, and I've appreciated her friendship and her service to the city. As her term on City Council draws to an end, I'm certain that she's spent some time reflecting on the legacy she leaves behind. And in fact, I encourage us all to consider legacies. Tonight, we're also mindful of the legacy of another important leader, former City Mayor Bob Dominic, who passed away on Friday and was laid to rest yesterday. Mayor Dominic served the city from 1978 to 1994. And those 16 years mark the longest tenure of any mayor in the history of the city of Lawrence. Before that, he also served an additional 8 years on city council as a council member. During his time as mayor, he was responsible for working with the federal government to construct 16 detention ponds, which helped keep the city from flooding in the event of severe weather. This should be particularly appreciated by us as a city right now, given the recent events that we experienced with Hurricane Helene. During his service, he also helped bring Hunter Industrial Park to the city of Lawrence. If one thinks about all the jobs and industries in Hunter Industrial Park that have supported families in the city of Lawrence over the years, the investment and foresight brought about Hunter Industrial Park has been truly transformative. Mayor Dominic served during another period of transition in which South Carolina's textile economy gave way to new forms of manufacturing. But it was important at that time for city leaders to look toward the future and think of challenges and opportunities that lay ahead, rather than doubling down on what happened in the past and what failed as a way forward. Tonight, I offer this reminder to the people of City Lawrence. Let's take time to appreciate the legacy of Mayor Dominic and send our condolences and thoughts to his family as they mourn his loss and celebrate his life. Councilor Lattimore has her own legacy. She has been an integral part of this council. She has supported revitalization efforts that brought new life to long vacant buildings, that held landlords to account, that updated city facilities, that upheld principles of civility on council, that protected the First Amendment, that repealed outdated laws, that kept taxes low, that expanded city services, and encouraged investment in historic buildings, and brought about a revitalization that we can all be proud of. As her time on council draws to a close, we celebrate her contributions to our council and to the history of our city. As we look forward to the future, we understand that our city is not without its present challenges. After attending the Lawrence County Development Corporation board meeting today, we learned that there's been a slowdown in new manufacturing investments. Lawrence County manufacturing workers, Lawrence County has the most manufacturing jobs of any county in our state, by the way, are largely employed by the automotive industry and its suppliers, and that is a very highly globalized industry, and unfortunately, that industry has seen economic pressures caused by recent tariffs, and it remains to be seen what the long-term effects of that may be. But I can report that there is also positive news. I can share with you that there was a $257 million investment in our county in 2024, which brought 250 new jobs. This brings the total investment in Lawrence County over the past 5 years to $1.44 billion, with 2,305 new jobs created. South Carolina remains the fastest growing state in the nation. In order to accommodate this growth and support new industries, potential employers are looking at the number of homes available to house a stable and reliable workforce. I know this because the requests for information concerning housing have been coming to LCDC. The City of Lawrence efforts to update its zoning reflect a priority placed by our local government on balancing the needs to facilitate growth while maintaining the unique character of our quaint and beautiful small town. We're proud of the work that this council has done and the work of staff that has gone into creating our new ordinance that reflects these priorities. The input from the public has been invaluable, some from folks sitting in this room. And I'm proud to say that tonight we have an ordinance before us that is unique in the state of South Carolina. It will preserve the character of our town, which we care so deeply about. This is a legacy that members of this council can be proud of as part of their record of service. While we can build and renovate buildings, support individual development projects, and win awards at state conferences, ultimately all that is for naught if we lose the essential character of our community and become Anytown, USA. When action was needed at a moment of growth, this council did not take the easy way out. It didn't impotently blame the laws of the past or stand helpless in the face of uncontrolled growth as some other cities have. Instead, they did the hard work of looking for positive solutions that encourage growth but do not destroy the character of the community. That is a hard challenge, and yet we stood together and did it. I'm proud to be part of this effort, and I appreciate the work of each and every one of you who has been involved and who helped us get to this point. Passage of this ordinance, if that is council's will tonight, is the beginning of a process and not the end. But it does mark the end of the beginning. We've made it through the hardest part. The community support for this effort has been tremendous. And perhaps most importantly, I hope it serves as an inspiration for other leaders in our county and across the state who need not fear updating the way we approach protecting our communities and lands. Because, make no mistake, if we do not, before long, we'll look around us and we will not recognize the Palmetto State. As we look forward, we must all think of our legacies and approach this important work with thoughtfulness, wisdom, and a desire to serve all. We can only do this by working together as a team. The uncertainty caused by ever-changing economic pressures has an unsettling effect. But a city council that works collegially, even when we don't agree all the time, creates an environment where those who seek to invest in Lawrence know that their investment is safe and sound, is supported and encouraged by local government, and they will not be alone in investing in our community because the community believes in itself. I appreciate the legacy of Councilor Lattimore and the collegiality that she brought to this council. As we swear in new members of this council next month, I look forward to working with them to maintain the same sense of unity and collegiality in the future. We owe it to those who will come after us to approach this important work with thoughtfulness and wisdom and a desire to serve all. please join me in showing thanks to Mayor Dominic for his years of service, to Councilor Lattimore for her years of service, and it is our prayer that the city of Lawrence remains a place that is welcoming, safe, secure, and blessed with growing prosperity. Councilor Lattimore, if you would, please stand and accept our thanks and a token of our gratitude on behalf of the people of the city of Lawrence. Thank you. I can scoot by you, Ms. Kimball. Ms. Lattimore, on behalf of the people of Lawrence, we would like to present you this picture of your friends.
Oh, that is so good. Thank you.
And this token of our appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you, council.
Thank you.
And I would like to say I have enjoyed my time on council. I have really learned a lot that's gonna carry me on through my life. But I do not regret this day at all. I take it with peace and with confidence, and I know this council is gonna go on. And Johnny, you're gonna always be pretty. And thank each and every one of you, because we are like a family. That's the way we feel right now, just like a family. And I have truly enjoyed each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would ask that the city clerk enter these comments into the record as a perpetual memorial to the service of these public servants and the work that we have done together as council. All right. That takes us to the next item on our agenda, which is public comment period. And Mr. Administrator, indicates that we do not have anyone that signed up for public comment, so that takes us to the consent agenda. The two items before us on the consent agenda are approval of tonight's agenda and approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting of February 18th. Do I hear any motions concerning the consent agenda?
So moved to accept the consent agenda.
We have a motion from Ms. Miller. Are there any seconds?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Bolt. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approval of the consent agenda items, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. And the consent agenda is approved. Moving on to the next order of business, old business, ordinance 1-25-1, amending the code of ordinances of the city of Lawrence to repeal chapter 44 and replace it with ordinance 1-25-1 and adopt the revised official zoning map dated January 10th, 2025. Do I hear any motions concerning this old business?
I make a motion that we table orders number 0125-01.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
This is second reading, doesn't say it's stated officially.
It is second reading.
Okay.
There's a motion to table. Hearing no seconds, the motion fails. Are there any other motions concerning ordinance 1-25-1?
I'll make a motion, we accept ordinance 01-25-01 on second reading.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Councilor Lowry and a second from Councilor Miller. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have a discussion. That's a couple of things I want to speak about with this ordinance. Being that we had some questions from the community, we went through all that process and everything. These questions that I'm asking is not anything personal, it's just for clarity as a council member. I wanted to know if there were, any way that we could have a small hearing, with questions, directed towards members of our planning and zoning board. as it relates to, Title V, Section 7, dash 100, we are allowed to do those investigations and only for question of clarity.
Ms. Sullivan, I'm afraid that your comments are out of order. The motion before us is approval of the ordinance on second reading, not any motion concerning the operations of the planning commission.
No. I'm not asking for a motion. I'm just stating the fact that we are allowed to have those questions, and for clarity, I don't feel comfortable with voting on something where I don't have questions from those certain board members, in relating to a hearing that we're allowed to have as a council, as a body.
Thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Is there any further discussion? Well, hearing none.
Well, I'll make a comment. Because there needs to be a comment made about this, this new ordinance for the zoning is, of course, been talked about. I would even go on to say it's been talked about ad nauseum. We've had meeting after meeting after meeting. There was a meeting of the planning commission here recently, and I attended, mayor attended. There were a lot of questions, a lot of things that were talked about during that time. That was an excellent meeting. I thought the planning commission did an excellent job addressing some concerns of citizens that came and showed up. That was the time to ask the questions. That was the time to do the work, and they did the work. And they did a good job, and they have done some, they've listened to the community, they've listened to people who didn't understand, they've listened to people that they've requested changes, and I think they've been very open and transparent about the whole process. We put this on hold in order for that to happen, and it happened. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people that had questions and wanted to blow this up on social media didn't even bother to show up, and that tells me a lot about where they stood. I think that goes with a lot of people that want to continue to question this council's agenda, question the way the planning commission went about this and the way the city went about this. I don't know how much more we can do to make this this ordinance transparent and in the best interest of Lawrence. I really appreciated what you said earlier, Mr. Mayor, about this is transformative. This is generational. We don't get many bites at this apple. The last time this was done was 30 years ago, and I like to hope that we do such a good job with this ordinance and with any modifications we need to do in the future. We all know that this is not perfect. We know that there will be people that will come before us that will want to make changes to their zone. That's always been in the ordinances of the past, and they will be in the ordinances of the future. We will continue to do that. But I will say that I hope that we won't have to revisit this process again in the near future. And I don't believe that we will. And I don't believe that I will be on the council, and probably not the majority of the people that are up here will do it. Unless because the last time was 30 years ago, so I'm not sure about the rest of you, but I'm pretty guaranteed I won't be here in 30 years. So I want to say in closing that I'm very appreciative of the process that has gone on, of the people that have put a lot of work into this, the staff, city staff. I can't say enough about city staff. I don't think they always get much of a mention in these things. It always seems like council takes a lot of credit for a lot of things that city staff do. So I wanted to say that I know where the work's been put in, and I appreciate it very much. And I'm going to be extremely happy to vote affirmative on this ordinance. Thank you.
Mayor, I'll make a short comment.
Me
Um,
Yes, sir.
I had people approach me since our last meeting that, and with the meetings that, and some of them had approached you, and they had already talked to you, and they talked to me. And they felt much better talking with you and, what's his name, Mitch, or the one that,
Michael.
right, yeah. And I think he explained to a lot of them exactly, you know, and so, I won't say a lot, but I mean, I did have some people approach me that was concerned about it, and after they talked with you, when they signed up for those meetings and talked to Mr. Mitch, they felt better about it, because they own property here in the city, but also had someone approach me that lives outside the city, you know, that we don't have any control over. So, so I'm voting for him, so I just want to let you know that I'm satisfied with it.
Thank you, Councilor Bullock. Ms. Miller?
Yes. I'd just like to say, as I said at the last meeting, hats off to our city employees that spent many hours in our planning commission for their hard work. And hats off to our mayor and the other staff members that conducted the public hearings, the public meetings. And hats off to our citizens for those who really was brave enough to come forth with their questions for clarity. It was a lot of myth and a lot of work, hours spent in this audience. And I do think that in the future, and Martin, you never know who going to be around. You can't blame Martin on this. But I think the last time that this took place, a lot of work. I got a call as late as today about this audience, which was a myth, wrong information. So I'm encouraging the public to call if there's still questions or concerns about it. Although we are passing it, I'm voting in the affirmative because I know that a lot of work, because this is going to affect me too, but I'm praying that we will be able to work through all this, especially the Jersey area, Jersey Green Street area of Green Street. So I'm grateful to Michael and all the staff members for their hard work and doing. And to the citizens, if you have questions or concern, the best place to come to get firsthand information is to the source. And I encourage them to come to this meeting, and when we have public meetings, it's not just for a certain few, it's for everybody. If you have concerns, and hats off to our planning and zoning board, they spend months, hours in looking at these, what Lawrence, best for the city of Lawrence. And I thank you, Mayor, for your leadership, and I thank the council member for their support in this effort. And our city administrator, can't leave him out.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
I too just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for the foresight. Thank you for putting in the effort to continue to push our community forward. So thank you, Eric. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Planning Commission.
Thank you so much.
I would like to say thank you, Planning Commission, because this was kind of new to me, because it was before my time, 10 years ago. And I was just confused as some of the others were, but it was explained. And when you explain it, you understand it better. Thank all of you.
I want to echo the sentiments of council and thanking city staff. I want to especially spend particular time thanking two individuals who are here with us tonight. First, Bill Eubanks, who has helped guide our city through this process. It's always difficult when you're doing something like this because you don't know what you don't know. And having professionals who are knowledgeable about best practices and can help us avoid pitfalls and provide guidance and solutions has been tremendously helpful. I am astounded at his ability to pop up to the city of Lawrence to attend a planning commission meeting, and provide himself as a resource for anybody who wanted to pick his brain. I know that we spent multiple days, and I'm talking 12-hour days, beginning first thing in the morning and going page by page, line by line through this work. And that is a labor of love. And it's one thing to do it if you're from here and live here, but to take part in this as somebody who's coming to help another community, I appreciate those efforts, Bill. And then Michael Powell, our building and planning director, who was also in those very same meetings, but was also taking this work home with him at night and marking it up and coming up with questions and proposed revisions. And then most recently, after we'd finished the hard work of coming up with a draft that was our best first effort, putting that out to the public and fielding questions from people in person, on the phone, some combination of all of those, sometimes from people who did not behave as their mama taught them to behave. Or maybe they were. But to do that in such a way that we were able to make some folks who had hesitations come around and at the end of those meetings say thank you for what you're doing is really impressive. And I know I've been hard on you because this is so important. But your commitment to Lawrence and your belief in what we're doing is truly inspiring. And I want to say publicly, many, many, many thanks. We wouldn't be here without you. The final thing I want to say, and I alluded to it at our meeting last month, is this is what democracy looks like when it's done right. There aren't too many ways we can look around in today's society in government and say, yes, let's do it like that. But here in Lawrence, we did the best we could as a public body. We opened it up to the public. We had town halls. We had meetings. We reached agreements. We tried to emphasize as a city staff that we are here to work together with property owners to make sure that their interests are protected while keeping in mind the long-term interests of the city. And we have something that I truly know is unique in this state. And I really do hope it provides a pattern for our neighbors in this county and for our other cities across the state of South Carolina to follow our lead. As Martin said, this is generational. I've told our staff, if there's anything that has my fingerprints on it during my time as mayor that I'm going to be proud of, this ordinance, I hope, is part of my obituary one day. Because I honestly believe we are at a point in the history of this city where we either go this way and lose ourselves or this way and we become such a standout jewel for what we are doing that it makes sure that Lawrence captures that perfect balance of both growth and maintaining all of the things that we love about this town. That was the marching orders that we got from the public.
I pray that Karen come on.
City staff and I could have all the great ideas in the world and we could get all the suggestions in the world from Bill, but it couldn't happen without the support of City Council. And so I thank all of you for having the backbone, instead of when facing resistance from people who had questions or who had read misinformation on social media, and frankly, there was a lot of it, to encourage them, just as you said, Ms. Miller, to go to the source, to ask questions, because we all live here. Everybody that's sitting at this table lives here. We're your neighbors. We sit next to you on Sunday morning. We see you in the grocery store. We stop and say hello when we're at the restaurants. We're invested too, because these are our homes too. I hope that this is a growing experience for our community, and we gain a greater appreciation for what it means to come together and listen to each other and do it the right way. I'll get off here into the sermon. All right. Is there any further discussion?
Needs to be an adjustment to the date on the zoning map. It's supposed to be, I believe it's March 16th of 2025 is my understanding, instead of January 10th.
And I believe it's your motion to approve on second reading, is it not?
It is, but
Would you
you
like to
asked for further statements, and I've been informed that the date may be a little incorrect.
Would you
as
like to,
printed.
would you like
So
to amend your?
We need to
motion?
amend just the date, yes.
Okay.
March the 16th.
March 16th.
The date needs to be correct.
Thank you. Good catch. Alrighty, I want to make sure we're doing this properly. Councilor Lowry, do I understand you to be amending your original motion?
That is correct,
Um,
just to change the date. Everything else the same.
So your motion as amended would be to approve ordinance 1-25-1 on second reading with the amendment to update the date to March 16th, 2025. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, we have the motion. Is there second to the motion as amended?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? After 2 years, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no.
Nay.
And the measure passes 6-1. Hallelujah. Thank you. All righty. The next item of business before us is new business, in which we would like to present a proclamation celebrating March as Disabilities Awareness Month. I have a proclamation here. It reads, if you'll give me the liberty of reading it, whereas every March we recognize Disabilities Awareness Month to celebrate the contributions of individuals with disabilities and to promote inclusion, respect, and accessibility in our community. And whereas individuals with disabilities enrich our city through their talents, resilience, diverse perspectives, contributing to the economic, cultural, and social fabric of Lawrence. And whereas the city of Lawrence is committed to fostering an inclusive environment where all residents, regardless of ability, have equal opportunities to participate fully in community life. And whereas local organizations, advocates, families, and individuals work tirelessly to ensure that people with disabilities have access to employment, education, healthcare, and community engagement. And whereas by recognizing Disabilities Awareness Month, we reaffirm our commitment to breaking down barriers, raising awareness, and advocating for policies that support independence, inclusion, and dignity for people with disabilities. And whereas this month serves as an opportunity to educate our community about the importance of accessibility, to celebrate achievements, and to further inspire further progress toward a society that values and empowers all individuals. Now, therefore, I, Nathaniel Brusin, Mayor of the City of Lawrence, do hereby proclaim March as Disabilities Awareness Month in the City of Lawrence, and encourage all residents, businesses, and organizations to join in celebrating and supporting individuals with disabilities. In presenting this proclamation, I would like to call upon the representatives here with us tonight from the Lawrence County Disabilities and Special Needs Board to discuss this with city council. If you would, please come forward. If you come to the podium, it'll help us hear you better, I'm afraid.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, County Littlefield, and I'm on the board of Orange County Disability Special Needs Board. Jason Tavener is the executive director. We met him before, and I thought I'd stand here because he's been having too much fun. I also have here Tara Glenn, who's administrative executive assistant. On behalf of the 500-plus people with intellectual disabilities, autism, head and spinal cord injuries that we support, and their families, the caregivers, and over 200 agency staff, I'm here to share that March is Disabilities Awareness Month. During this month, we celebrate many contributions that people with lifelong developmental disabilities are making in our communities. We recognize the vital role of all caregivers, both paid and unpaid. We acknowledge the various individuals and community partners that offer meaningful opportunities for employment, volunteering, socialization, worship, and sportsmanship. We promote and deliberately include all citizens. The time you allow your meeting and your support to a formal proclamation, thank you very much, is very much appreciated. So thank you very much for supporting our events. And I noticed in your public notices that you are attaching American Disabilities Act in there. Thank you very much. It looks permanent to me. And I want to make sure you all know you're invited to our annual breakfast where we do a show and tell of what's going on. It's March 25th at the Palmetto Room.
Thank you so much. Y'all have heard a lot from me tonight. We're moving forward with actively participating in ways to integrate folks with different abilities into advancing our work as a city. I had good conversations with our Streets and Sanitation Director, Kerwin Tribble, who is very interested about working with Lawrence County Disabilities and Special Needs, about providing opportunities for employment. Some of my earliest memories of going to school with my grandmother, Miss Louise Sin, who taught for 48 years in the classroom but couldn't stand to not teach and came back to work after retirement, was working with special needs kids. And I saw the love that she had for them, but I saw the love that they had for her and the difference that she was able to make in their lives. It would be an honor for us as a city to be able to show love to the individuals who yearn for the dignity that comes with work, for the purpose that comes with that, and the value that that brings to their lives. And so I'm excited to continue those conversations and work together. The second item of new business is recognition of Councilor Sarah Lattimore's service to the city of Lawrence. And I already jumped my own gun on that.
That's okay.
But since you are on the agenda, if you have any last words for us before we adjourn, I'd love to recognize you.
Oh. No, I've already said what I was going to say. Unless, Mayor Pro Tem is ready.
And with that
I'm gonna
prompt,
miss you right here.
miss you.
Yeah, I promise you I will.
I
I'm
tell
gonna
you.
miss you right here. It's been fun sitting next to you for the last 12 years.
We'll miss you.
Quiet on this side
That's
for
right.
some years.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
If all city councilors were as sweet. I'm not casting aspersions. No.
My wife says I'm sweet.
Maybe consistently sweet.
See, she's shaking her head.
All right, with that, I turn to our Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor, I just have one thing I'd like to say before I say we adjourn. I want to appreciate the comments that you made about Mayor Dominic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Uh,
sweet.
He was a great mayor. I mean, I enjoyed working with him. Miss Miller and I guess, are only last two council members that actually served with him. And I served with him from 1984 to 1994. Miss Miller, she came on a little bit after I did, but we shared those moments with Mayor Dominic, and I think you did a great job. And I guess you call it speaking for him, because you brought back some things that this old brain's getting too old that maybe he didn't remember. But I appreciate your comments very much, and I think we owe it to remember his family. That was
yes.
a large family, the Dominic family and the Pearson family and all that. They involved a lot of people here in Lawrence, and he had a lot of connections. So I'd just like to say thank you for your comments. And appreciate the opportunity I had to serve with you.
Yeah.
And one more thing, before that, his favorite thing that he used to say to council, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That was his favorite that he would tell us.
So if nobody else has anything to say, I would like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Without objection, we are adjourned.
Yeah, he said all the time. Yeah, Mr.